So what's the big deal with bronze watches? And if you happen to be interested in bronze watches, where's a good place to start? Well, today we're going to be taking a look at a bronze watch from Aquatico. This is the Bronze Sea Star, which I think makes a really strong case for your first kind of entry-level bronze watch. Let's check it out. Hey everyone, this is Dave and welcome back to Just the Watch, and this is a channel where I talk about watch collecting on a budget, and we look at affordable watches and anything that's kind of related to that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, definitely ask you guys to subscribe, but let's go ahead and start talking about today's sort of topic / watch. Again, we're looking at the Bronze Sea Star from Aquatico Watches. And I'll start by talking a little bit about bronze watches in general, because this is my first bronze watch and it's something that I was always curious to check out. So let's start by talking about that. What's the big deal with bronze watches? Why are these so popular right now? Three quick things. First off, I think bronze is kind of like almost like the luxury metal of the affordable watch world, right? There's something cool about getting something different than a stainless steel watch. If you're into luxury watches, it might be a solid gold watch or a white gold or something like that. These precious metals that change the characteristic of a watch and add value, and that kind of thing is totally unobtainable for someone like me. However, bronze is starting to come down more in price, and it's really cool to be able to have access to something other than stainless steel and to see the way that changes the characteristics and the properties and the looks of a watch. So that's really cool to have something like that, I think. Second thing, and probably the most obvious, the one that you hear the most, is that bronze patinas. It changes over time. It's kind of like, like a pair of blue jeans that you break in and it gets this sort of customized look to you, or a nice leather jacket that you wear for a while and it starts to get your own creases and shape and look to it that becomes custom and unique to that item of use. So it ages in a unique way, and that's something that you definitely get with bronze. I've had this one for a couple of weeks and already the color has been changing, and I'm starting to see things that are that are very unique to that watch, and it's really fun. It's like just a really interesting thing. Like stainless steel watches, the only thing that they tend to do is get scratches on them, so that they tend to kind of just gradually look worse a lot of times, whereas this one, depending on your opinion, it either looks worse or it looks worse in a really cool, awesome way. And the third reason is that patina, that look, it gives it kind of like a very vintage look very quickly, but it's a genuine vintage look. It's not like a fake patina. It's not like something that someone's sort of applied to make it look like an old watch. It's just the characteristic of bronze is that it kind of ages quickly and gets this look to it. And one of the things that I think is really cool to that aspect of it is that scratches and things really do, I think, have a different effect on a bronze watch than on a stainless steel watch. For me, when I get scratches on my stainless steel watches, it's kind of a bit of a bummer. It sort of, ruins the original look of the watch. Whereas with a bronze watch, usually that's what you're after from the start. You want a watch that looks well worn and old, and bronze is going to give you that quickly, and any scratches and things that you add to it is only going to enhance that aspect of it. So that's kind of a fun thing that, in a sense, you're taking a trade-off with durability. Bronze is a softer metal than stainless steel, but I think that, the way that bronze wears and takes that beating in the long run, it kind of looks better than stainless steel does. Now, with that kind of intro out of the way, let's go ahead and talk specifically about the Bronze Sea Star from Aquatico Watches and what I think about this one. First off, I do want to say thank you to Aquatico for sending this watch in. They reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check out one of their watches, and they gave this one to me for review. I get to keep it, so keep that in mind as you listen to the review. But with that out of the way, I do think that what they are offering here is a really incredible value. For $300, you're getting a bronze cased watch. You're getting a sapphire crystal that's actually really cool. You're getting a ceramic bezel, drilled lugs, and a lot of value packed into this package. So let's go ahead and jump in and take a closer look at it. Okay, so here's the Bronze Sea Star from Aquatico. Clearly some inspiration from Tudor going on here with those snowflake hands and just this dial layout and case. Dimensions, you're getting 42 millimeter diameter, 49 millimeter lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug openings, and then a 14 millimeter height, including that kind of box sapphire crystal. As you can see on the dial, you are getting 300 meters of water resistance, which is great, again, especially at this price range. And then inside, you're getting a Seiko NH35 movement with a solid case back, which unfortunately does not have the mermaid riding the dolphin. This is just the simple Aquatico logo on the back. But it is a solid stainless steel case back, so you won't get your skin stained by a bronze metal touching your skin all the time. Obviously, the thing you want to note the most about this watch is the bronze case, and this is after a couple weeks of wear, and you can already see that it's starting to develop a patina. The color has darkened significantly from when I first got it, and particularly the crown is where you're seeing most of the patina develop. You know, those little grooves in between, you're starting to get some darker spots, even a little bit of green in there. So that's been kind of cool. One of the things I love about this watch is that sapphire crystal, and if you kind of look at it at extreme angles, you can see how much distortion you get there. The crystal appears to be very thick, thicker than I normally see in watches. And you know, if you look at it from the side, it looks to be completely flat on the top, but from the angles, you're getting definitely a curvature there. So it seems like the underside is curved. So you know, the reflections and things very much look like a domed crystal, but it's actually flat on top, so it's very interesting. I haven't seen a crystal like that. If that's like a common thing on dive watches, definitely let me know down in the comments, guys. One thing it does that's interesting, it does make the dial appear like it's deeper down in the watch than it really is. It's sort of a weird distortion there. That part I'm not too big a fan of, you know, but it's, you know, it's just, again, something interesting to note. You are getting drilled lugs, which is cool. I definitely like seeing that. Makes strap changes a lot easier, so cool bonus there. The bezel is also really thick and easy to grip. You got this deep coin edge grooves, and then this one has a Lume ceramic bezel insert, which is really classy looking. Definitely one of the standout visual features of the watch. It's high polish, so you get a lot of reflections off of it. It's going to be really sturdy and scratch resistant, so definitely a premium feature that you're seeing at this price range. This one also does have a framed date at 3 o'clock, which I think looks pretty good, stands in as a marker. And I love having a date on a watch. Now, the bezel action is something that's maybe a little bit interesting or concerning. I think there's something weird going on with this particular one. So normally it's a very heavy, very clearly defined, clicky feeling bezel. It's you get some stiff resistance in there, and you can definitely feel it when it's turning. But after a couple of turns, it seems like it really loosens up, or not loosens up, it really lightens up. You get a very different feel. It gets a lot quieter. It's very loud and ratchety at first, but then it gets a lot more muted as you go. So it sounds like something's happening internally. I will note that regardless of which sound you're getting, both sounds and feels I think would feel fine. It's the fact that it changes between that sort of harder and softer feel inside and that harder and softer sound inside kind of gives me cause for concern. If it was one or the other, I wouldn't even notice. I would just thought, oh, that's just a good bezel action. Either way, you're not getting any back play, so it's not like it's loose or anything like that. It's just, I just wonder what's going on inside there. Now, it's cool that they're giving you this bronze case, and that definitely comes at a premium cost. But I think one of the areas where they might have had to cut the cost a little bit is on the case finishing. It's just very simple. You're just getting a brushed finish on the case, and the case, design is very classic. Nothing really original there. Again, you're getting a lot of inspiration from just classic dive watches, but it's that bronze metal that I think kind of makes up for it, because it's this bronze that's going to patina. The finishing that you're going to get underneath it, you're not really going to notice after a while anyways. The character that you're going to get is going to come from the metal itself, so I think that's acceptable at this. But that is something that, right out of the box you might notice more, compared to some other watches. You're not getting anything particularly interesting on the case other than the material of it. But the material is very interesting, and it's already changing a lot. So yeah, I think that's an acceptable trade-off. In this particular one, you're getting that sort of a very dark green, which I think goes great with the bronze. I love that sort of brownish, bronzy color with the green bezel and dial. I think that's just a great classic color combination. And again, it's very unique. I don't have any other watches like this in my collection, so really like that as well. And then, it includes 2 straps. I'll show you the other one in a minute. This one, I've got it on the leather strap, which it came pre-installed. And the leather strap is great. It's a really thick, comfortable strap, really supple, doesn't require a lot of break-in time, and it looks great with the bronze watch. Just really, really cool there. And then they've given you this really thick bronze buckle to go along with it. So I really appreciate that as well. I think that this leather strap is a really kind of, the premium one that they've given you, and definitely the better of the two straps that they've given. I'll show you the metal mesh strap that they also included in a minute here. All right, next up, let's go ahead and check out the Lume and compare it to maybe some of the other watches in my collection and see how it holds up. So here's the Lume on the Aquatico, and it's what I would consider to be average Lume at this price range. It's not, anything particularly bright, but it holds up well with other ones around that price range. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run it through a 1-hour Lume test, and I'll be putting it up against some of the best watches in my collection as far as Lume goes, and we'll take a look and see how it stacks up against them. So in this test, going from left to right, we have the Aquatico Bronze Sea Star on the left, then we have the SWC Diver, followed by the Citizen Nighthawk, my new Seiko Samurai, which has pretty amazing Lume, and then finally we have a Spinnaker Dumas on the far right. So we're going to go ahead and run these through for an hour and see how they turn out. As you can see in this test, all of them are still legible after the hour is done, so you're getting pretty decent Lume, I think, on all of these watches, but some of them definitely fare better than others. And if we rank up the results, what we find is looking at the brightness on the hands, the Aquatico comes in 4th place, and then on the markers it also comes in 4th place. So yeah, I think you're getting pretty average results here. Again, particularly the Nighthawk, the Samurai, and the SWC, those ones all tend to score among the highest in my collection every time. So for this one to come in 4th place in there, shows that it's pretty average score for these ones. Okay, let's talk about straps for a minute, because I think with bronze divers in particular, it gets a little bit tricky. Included with the Sea Star is a really great leather strap, which we've already looked at, but you are also getting a black stainless steel mesh strap. So it's a stainless steel strap that has been coated black, and I think the black and bronze looks good. Unfortunately, I think the strap that they included, it just didn't really fit well with me. I didn't like the way that stainless steel mesh strap looked with the bronze watch, and the strap didn't seem to be that high of quality. Far lower quality than the leather strap that they included. That doesn't really concern me that much, because I think that the mesh strap is kind of just a bonus that they threw in. The main strap is that leather one, which is great, but it is a diver. It's a 300-meter diver, which is amazing. So you're probably going to want to take it in the water sometime, and you are going to need a waterproof strap for that. So what are your options? One is going to be a NATO, and I think in this one in particular, it looks great with like a green and red NATO, that really classic green NATO with the red stripe, just matches the colors beautifully. My personal favorite with this watch was to pair it up with a black rubber waffle strap. I think that just gives it a great vintage look and just complements the watch well. I think the black and the bronze works well, so black rubber straps are going to look really good. And then whatever other leather straps you want to try it on, I think you have some good options there. So I think you've got some strap options there. But yeah, some interesting ones given the case color. All right, so to wrap up, let's talk the pros and cons of the Aquatico Sea Star. Starting with the pros, first of all, just the value that you're getting. You're getting a bronze watch for $300 with a ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, 300 meters of water resistance, Seiko NH35 automatic movement inside. Just incredible value packed into here. And to be able to get all of that at this $300 price range, I think is just a great starting point for if you're interested in a bronze watch and you want to sort of take the plunge and try it out. This is just a great way to do it. You're getting an overall, just great value in this watch. Second, that sapphire crystal and the ceramic bezel combined really give the watch a lot of character. The sapphire crystal is very unique. I haven't ever seen one like that before. It just gives some really interesting distortion at extreme angles, and yet at the same time you get a really clear view into the watch. It just looks super thick and deep, and very different from other sapphire crystals that I've seen. And then the ceramic bezel is polished. It reflects the light beautifully, and I think that combined with the sapphire crystal really add a lot of character to the watch, and I really appreciate those two elements of this one. Another thing that I really like about this is that they include a 1-year warranty. If you're looking at bronze watches in this price range, there are some cheaper options on AliExpress that might have similar specs. However, going with a company that's a little bit more established and does offer a 1-year warranty with their watches, I think offers you a lot of peace of mind. And from my interactions with Calvin over at Aquatico, he seems like a really responsive guy, and I think you're going to get some good customer service from them for that. And I think that's definitely a big plus to consider when you're looking at watches kind of in this price range. And the final pro, other than one exception, which we'll talk about right after this in the negatives, overall the build quality is pretty good. I think it's a pretty well-built watch, and yeah, it just feels solid in the hand. And I think that's something that, you know, you should be able to get a pretty good amount of use out of. It should last you a long time, so you should be good on that front. Okay, so let's talk about the negatives. And again, going back to the build quality again, the one exception was with the bezel action on there. That was a little bit concerning to me. The way that it, you know, it felt really solid when you first start turning it, and then it just, like, the whole character of it kind of changed. I don't know what's going on internally inside the bezel. And if this were a watch that I purchased myself, I would probably reach out to Aquatico and talk about maybe a refund or an exchange. And yeah, and again, that's nice that I have that option going with them rather than, you know, some, you know, AliExpress seller in China where that might be a lot more difficult. But since this is a watch that I got for free, it really doesn't concern me too much, and I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm fine with it. Also, that black mesh strap, again, I didn't particularly like it. I think I would have preferred to see either a rubber strap or maybe a color matched NATO with it. I think would have given a better, better value. But again, I think that strap is just kind of a bonus that they threw in. I wouldn't really knock it too much for that. And then the final con, I think just overall the design and the finishing is kind of unoriginal and nothing too spectacular. You know, it's kind of a safe look. You're definitely getting some strong Tudor vibes from it. And again, the finishing is very basic, but there's nothing particularly wrong with that. I think the character comes a lot more from the bronze material that they're using, and then again from that sapphire and ceramic combination there helps to bring some more character out of it. But if you're talking about just the actual finishing of the watch and the design of the watch, it's very simple, very classic. Yeah, you've kind of seen it all before. But if you are drawn to, you know, Tudor style and you like a kind of something that's sort of like an homage of what Tudor is putting out, then that's not going to be a con. That's probably going to be a positive for a lot of people as well. So in conclusion, I think this is just a really incredible value that you're getting at that $300 price point. It is a really beautiful watch, and I love that the way how the patina has developed on the watch since I've gotten it. It's just a really fun experience. It's something that I'm very new to, and it's completely unique from other watches in my collection. And there's a lot to like, I think, about this particular watch. I think, again, you're getting a great value for it. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have experience with bronze watches, whether you like them, hate them, what you do like about them, and if you have any particular experience with this one or others in this category, definitely leave me a comment down below. Love to hear from you guys, and yeah, hopefully you can help out other people who might be searching around as well. But thank you guys for watching. That will wrap up the review today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.